Okay, let me show you what I think is happening. Let's just do like a G, an A, and a C, and these are power chords. A power chord is called like a fifth chord. I'll show you an example of a power chord. If you want to play a G, for an example, your root note is your pointer finger here, and then you want to put the fifth of the chord in. So it's whatever the note you're playing, and then basically you count up 5. So if this is a G, 5 up from a G, which will be 4 notes. If you don't count the G, it's 4, but if you count the actual root note, it's 5. That should be a D. All right. So what you're doing is you're fretting the root note, and then you're going down 1 string, and you're going up 2 frets. So you got G, go down 1 string, which is the A string, and you go up 2 frets. So this would be a G power chord, or a G5. And it's an easy shape to do. Works in standard tuning, which is what I have, which is E, A, D, G, B, E, which is, E, A, D, G, B, E, which is what I believe you have. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so let's say you got like different songs, and what you have is you're just simply strumming, and you could do this. Now this allows you to hit the high notes. This is a G for high notes, or like like I was saying, a G like this for high notes. And then you can also have your G like like this. But if you just need the sound of a G, okay. But if you can just use this, right? And really you just want you can also do like 3 strings instead of doing 2 strings. You can add that 3rd string in, because if you do this and then bar it down, it's a totally different chord. So whatever your chord, like chords you want to play, like whether it's a G, A, B, or C, you can usually just grab the just put 2 chords. You can have like a 2-note chord. But okay, here's the example. So let's say you got like a G, okay, and let's say you're doing all down strumming really hard. This is what you get. Okay, I mean, it sounds pretty good. It's a chord progression, you can hear it, but you're not going to be able to do like a soft kind of a ballady song by doing, because there's too much energy going on. So one of the things you can do is you can palm mute everything but, the emphasis note. So you can emphasis, or you can palm mute the whole thing. You can do that. Or if you put a 3-note chord using that same A5 and then add the next one down, you can. This is not a bar chord now. I'm only fretting here. I'm doing this power chord, but I'm go down 1 string in the same position as the same fret as you're catching that 5th, and you can actually just pick those 3 strings. Okay, you can do that. If you used a full chords like a G, an A, and then we used a C, I believe. Okay, so in that case, if you strum it light, like if you're hitting all these chords, this really overwhelms it. That overwhelms it. But if you can catch the top, which I'm hitting the top, and I'm occasionally hitting that bottom one, that bass down and catching that E string. So it adds a little bit of variety to it. Now if you play it even softer, and catch that E string coming up, then it kind of highlights it. And I think that's what it is with strumming. I think that everybody with strumming just simply goes up and down. Up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Or they'll skip a beat. I'm still going up and down, but I'm skipping like a certain stroke. Down, up, like that. But me personally, I think it sounds better if. And you can also strum on different parts of your fretboard. So let's say you're doing a G here. Instead of strumming down all the strings, do what the Beatles do a lot. They only strum on certain strings. I'm still have a G shape, but I'm only strumming these bottom strings right here. So this is my highlight section, and this is my bass section. So I can strum on the highlight part of it, and then I can accent that bass. And when it stops, I'm actually resting my hand on it, and it adds like a little sharp beat. So all the notes don't ring in together. You know, it's all just blending together. These are the high strings. High strings. Stick my palm on it to stop it, and then hit that bass note, which is that low E string, but it's a G note. Give me a full chord so it fills it up. And then back to the highlight, because this will sound too thin all the time. This sounds too bassy all the time. That's too strong. So you sing in here. See. And you can do that same, you know, strumming on the high strings here, you know, here, catching the bass, strumming all the way down. And a lot of times my nail will hit it, so you know I'll be like doing let's see, and I'm actually palm muting, but my fingernail is actually hitting the string here, and it adds a weird kind of little chink to it. But I think that's the problem with what you're doing is, you know, you're hitting like if you listen to an A chord and you do this, I mean, you can tell it's an A minor and you can tell it's a C, but if you play lighter, you can hear more of the. See, you can actually hear more of the tonal qualities of the different notes and strings in the chords you're playing. So I think you're kind of washing it out by doing this too strong of a stuff. See what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. I think you're hitting them a bit too hard. Well, see if this helps, and let me know what you think.